This is at a transitional stage, so don't worry about it, okay? The Nintendo Switch might be the very first Nintendo portable that I'm gonna pass on. This is not the Izzy and Ober show. I wanted to do something a little bit back to basics. I didn't want to set up, you know, my background lights and all that shit, so I just want to do something a little bit more, more similar to what I used to do when I first started on YouTube. It seems to make sense. So the Nintendo Switch just came out, what? 2-3 days ago, I think it was. Seems like a lifetime ago because I've seen so many pictures of people playing with their Switches and posting pictures and, you know, just enjoying the hell out of their consoles. And I'm at a weird spot right now because I'll just show you. Fuck it. It's easier to just do this. As you can see here, I have every single Nintendo portable. I've been collecting them for a while. And for somebody like me, who enjoys portables, I'm a big Nintendo fan, it seems like the Switch would be a no-brainer, right? But I'm having such a hard time justifying buying this thing. I don't even like Coke to begin with. So lukewarm Coke Zero. I'm not sure why I'm drinking this. Fucking gross. So yeah, the Nintendo Switch. When I saw the announcement, I wasn't very excited for it. Back when it was called the Nintendo NX. Wasn't super excited for it. When the video came out, I really enjoyed this idea that you have a portable that you can play on your TV. Since the announcement of the Switch, I've gotten things like the GPD XD, which I have reviewed here on my channel. I'm gonna put a link here somewhere for you to click on it if you haven't seen it. This is the GPD XD. It's like an Android tablet. It's an Android tablet that runs emulation, right? And I mostly play emulators. I don't play, like my PS4, I barely ever even turn it on. I'm mostly like an old school gaming guy. So because I have something like this, which is a portable where I can play all of my Nintendo classics, I can plug this onto the TV, plug in a wireless controller, and play on the TV like that. This became my Switch, essentially. Like a thing that I can put in my pocket, play games in my commute or during my break at work, but I can also play on the big screen if I want to. So that kind of took my focus away from wanting something like this. And mind you, this is something like, as a portable fan, as I showed you, this is something I've always wanted. Something that you can play the games on the go, and then when you're home, you just play them on the television. The real thing that's making this a bit of a struggle, the real reason why I can't justify buying this, is the launch lineup. I think this may be the weakest launch lineup I have ever seen. Now, launch lineups are not usually great. I was actually curious because I don't remember a lot of the games that came out on these systems. So I actually went on Wikipedia to check it out. And one thing I didn't know, it's open right here. Let's see here, the Super Nintendo. This actually blew me away. The Super Nintendo only came out, when it came out in the States, it came out with F-Zero, which I'm not a huge fan, Gradius 3, I'm not even sure what game that is, Pilot Wings, SimCity was a launch title for the Super Nintendo, didn't know that, and Super Mario World, which is the game that defined my childhood. I'm currently beating Super Mario World in like, I think like 4 of my different portable devices. If I can play Super Mario World on something, I will install Super Mario World on that something. That's how big of a fan I am. So yeah, the launch lineup for the Super Nintendo wasn't that great. For the GameCube, let's see here, what came out on the GameCube? The US launch, there's a bunch of, like, there's a few sports games, Crazy Taxi, Batman Vengeance, never even heard of this game. Luigi's Mansion, I remember that. There was a Rogue Squadron 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. There wasn't many, like, must-have games, and I understand that. My point is that these systems, they don't usually launch with must-have games. There's like a few exceptions. The original Xbox came out with Halo. The Super Nintendo, when it launched, bundled Super Mario World. Not even it came out at launch. You bought the system and it came with Super Mario World. That's the other thing I'm finding very difficult to justify buying the Switch. It doesn't come with a bundled game. That is, I want to go out on a limb here and say that if it's not a first for Nintendo, it's out of character for Nintendo. Because most of Nintendo consoles came out with like a AAA title at launch. Even the Wii came out with Wii Sports, which, okay, it's not a AAA, but it's a great way for you to experience the best that the system offers, which is this like social motion control type gameplay. And the Wii Sports equivalent for the Switch, 1-2 Switch, doesn't come with the system. It's fairly expensive at $50 if I'm not mistaken. And from everything that I'm reading, it's kind of crappy. So I'm having such a hard time justifying the Nintendo Switch. It wouldn't be the kind of thing that you would think that I would have a problem justifying buying. It's just that the lineup is just not there. And I understand that these are bound to improve. I know that Zelda is the best fucking thing since sliced bread. I'm not a Zelda fan though. My wife is crazy about Zelda. So I could probably justify picking it up for her to play Zelda, and then I can play a few games, but there are no games that I would like at all. That's the problem. Mario comes out in the fall, so I'm not gonna buy a system now to play something at the end of the year. I'm gonna take another drink of this. My mouth is just so fucking dry. So yeah, right now, what is the Switch at in Canadian dollars? That's your Best Buy Switch. I think it's at... Do you like this? I'm doing the research in the middle of the video. $400 plus taxes on top. $400 for something that doesn't have a single game that I want. I would sooner buy it to collect, to go in my little display case of Nintendo portables, than actually buy it to play a game. So it's a shame. I feel like I'm out of, you know what I mean? You know when there's a big party going on, everybody's having fun, everybody's enjoying this moment, and you're just left out. I went through this several times in my life by not liking Harry Potter, for instance. Harry Potter was always this big cultural phenomenon that everybody's just so swept up in, and I'm just kind of watching it by the sidelines. Same thing with Game of Thrones. Everybody I know is a Game of Thrones fan, and I'm the only one who doesn't watch it, doesn't care to read the books. I'm not a huge fantasy fan. That's probably why. So the Nintendo Switch is the new thing that everybody seems to be going crazy for. The other thing too, the launch lineup is so weak that the fact that the game cards just taste like shit, apparently, is the most notable thing about the Switch library. That if you lick the cartridges, apparently they taste awful. For some fucking reason, people keep licking them. I don't know why. But yeah, I don't plan on buying the Nintendo Switch anytime soon. It's a bummer. I would like for it to have, if it came out with anything at all, the idea that I have to say drive down to Best Buy, pick this thing, wrestle people for it, because it's insanity, and then bring this thing home, figure out where I'm gonna plug it, because my TV doesn't have any more available HDMI ports for me to use, and then I won't even have a game to play on it. I'm gonna have to drop another... How much are games now? AAA titles are now $70? What the fuck happened? When I first came to Canada in 2003, games would go for between $40 and $50. They're now close to twice that much, but inflation hasn't gone up that much, so what the fuck is going on? Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch. It's a bummer. I feel kind of maybe give it 6 months. I'm sure there's gonna be some games that are worth playing on, and maybe Intelligent Systems will finally get back to the Advanced War series, which I fucking bought not one, but two 3DS's, thinking I would get to play my beloved Advanced Wars, and no, never came out. Intelligent Systems made, I think, 2 or maybe 3 Fire Emblems since. I actually have one of them. I have Awakening. I'm not a fan, like I said. I don't like the fantasy setting, so I have a real hard time getting into that type of game. So I bought it for nothing. Fuck. But yeah, that's how I feel about the Nintendo Switch. Let me know in the comments below if you're planning on buying, if you're not planning on buying it, or if you already bought it and you're enjoying the hell out of it, or if you bought it and you're having buyer's regret, which is what I know I would feel. But let me know. But yeah, that's all the time I have for today. I'll see you guys next time.